Here's one truth I've learned. We cannot love what we refuse to see. So if we look away from our pain, we also look away from our power. And if we
That's friend of the morning show and mental health advocate Sophie Gregoire Trudeau opening up about love.
And today she's here to chat about her workshop, Becoming You Again. It's all about navigating breakups and stepping into your next chapter with confidence. As you can see, Sophie joins us now. Sophie, so good to see you. And tonight you will be hosting a virtual workshop with world-renowned relationship coach Jillian Turecki on navigating big change. Turecki says integrity begins where denial ends. What does that mean when it comes to facing difficult transitions in our lives?
Well, I would kind of return the question, right, to anybody who's listening. How do you deal with hardship when it comes to relationships? Because I think that we have a tendency to protect ourselves because pain is difficult to navigate, and to blame other people for our unhappiness or the state of the world or whatever it is, right? And when it comes to heartbreak, separation, divorce, I really, as a mental health advocate, always look out, as I did in my book Closer Together, for experts who can help us navigate all of these big changes and transitions. And Jillian Turecki was really one that I was, watching myself and learning from. And she's got so much wisdom and tools to help people navigate big transitions and those heartbreaks in a way. And it's fascinating what she says when it comes to integrity and denial, because if we stop putting the blame on other people and we take the reins of our own lives, we move from another place inside of us, and it kind of really changes our dynamic with who we are and other people in our lives. And when we move from victimhood to I'm my own hero in my own journey, and I'm holding on to this situation, I'm navigating with clear eyes. And also integrity is really having integrity between your values and how you act with yourself and other people. So it's pretty central to not only relationships and breakups and how we navigate post that, but also how we show up in the world.
And Turecki also, Sophie, talks about creating safety for ourselves and says that happens when we step into our own hero's journey. Tell us a bit more about that and what that would look like.
Well, I don't know if you guys are going to be surprised to hear this, but some data suggests that almost 50% of the population is in such stress mode, so in their sympathetic nervous system, in their fight, flight, freeze, fawn for too long. And fawn, by the way, means people pleasing. And that's also kind of like a mechanism that keeps validating our pain. So when so many people are in their stress mode for so long, it's really hard to feel deep compassion and empathy for others. So as we navigate heartbreak, as we navigate big transitions in our lives, it's really important to know how to come back to yourself and how to be patient and tender with yourself and allow for yourself to actually build trust inside of you, because our lives are filled with uncertainty, right? We know this, looking at the state of the world. And the more certainty we create inside of ourselves, the more, not certainty, but the more balance and harmony and stability we can create in our lives. And who doesn't need more of that?
Okay, but trust in yourself. I mean, I think we're also talking maybe a little bit about intuition. And I'm just curious, how do we know when to trust it?
That's a great question. I think it's a question that we kind of find the answer for through our lifetime. When you're a kid, it comes naturally. You trust your gut, you trust your intuition, right? Usually intuition is more heart forward and gut is more, in the belly kind of sensation. But did you know, and this is Dr. Gabor Mate's work, did you know that around your heart, around the human heart, there's a web of nerves, and it has the capability to predict negative events. So when we tell ourselves, I should have listened to my heart and I didn't, we feel kind of like out of balance, out of touch with who we truly are. And that's not just something we invent. It's actually real. It's actually physiological. And I'm seeing the barcode now for the workshop tonight, and people are going to learn so much. I'm going to learn so much too, because as much as I'm a mental health advocate and I interview experts all the time, we're all eternal students of who we are, right?
Absolutely, yeah, and that QR code right there on the screen. And just finally, one of the things you're going to be unpacking tonight, Sophie, is this idea about the way we see ourselves often shapes the life that we create.
Yeah, because, I think it's one of the experts I was reading about. He was saying that life comes and meet us from where we think who we are, right? Life meets us where we think of us, of ourselves. But our mind doesn't know who we are, because our mind keeps playing tricks with us because it wants to be safe, it wants to have certainty. But that means that we're not living in integrity. It means that we don't have true coherence inside of ourselves. Therefore, when obstacles, breakups, divorce, separation happens, people have difficulty navigating because there's so much uncertainty. So tonight with Jillian, we'll be able to ask her questions directly. And, everybody's path is different. But when it comes to suffering and pain and heartbreak, we're just, one life experience away from each other. And you can still enroll. It's very accessible financially. I want to make sure that people have access to this easily. And if you can't make it tonight, no problem. You can still register to the link in my bio or to the QR code, and you'll have the recording for 7 days. So if anybody's suffering right now and they're going through heartbreak or divorce or separation and want to get some help, just know that you're not alone, and Jillian's going to be there, and I will be there for you this evening.
All right, Sophie, you got it all out there. Thank you so much for joining us today. Always a pleasure.
Be well, guys. See you later.